Hey guys, what's up? It is Biz Coach C and Maribel Sanabria. We are coming to you with our 10th, count it, 10th AI training in this series. And today is all about money management and how to use AI to help you with financial management. But Maribel is going to tell you all about that. I'm going to reintroduce her because she is absolutely amazing. So, not only is she an AI expert, but she is an amazing colleague and dear friend of mine who is going to be traveling with me to Bora Bora one day really soon because we're going to be vacationing together, just so y'all know. There are a few other ladies in this group that's going to be on that trip too, I'm sure, because we've been all talking about it, and we're going to start making physical plans, right, Maribel?
That's right.
Like
That's right.
plans are in the works, but yeah, definitely to introduce her. She is an expert in the field. She is the CEO of Graphically Yours. She is an expert in time management and productivity across the board for everyone. And I think she specializes in that for professional women mainly. Is that right, Maribel?
Yes, that's correct. Along with helping them with their marketing and branding for their business. So just an overall all-encompassing service provider.
So, in other words, she does it all. And we've also worked in partnership to develop websites, to actually do social media posts and do content and copy for clients. And I could not find a more reliable, more trustworthy, and more professional partner than what she is. So, without further ado, you guys, here is Maribel Sanabria. And before she takes the reins, let me tell you this: you need to be following her on YouTube. We're going to be sharing a lot of things in the comments today as far as files that she's created for you to go along with today's presentation. It's going to be hefty. So get your notebook and pen before she comes on the platform because you're going to be ready to take notes for this one. It's going to be super important for you to be able to keep up. It's going to be a high level discussion today because we are talking about money. Follow her YouTube page. Go check out her website. Schedule an appointment for a consult if you're not sure which direction of where to go. And if you are a corporate client or a business, don't shy away from speaking to her either. So she also works with, she also establishes businesses to business relationships. So she does B2B and B2C. So she can work with you individually or she can work with you as a corporate partner. Now I will hand the reins over to Maribel. So y'all stay tuned today. We're glad to have everybody.
Thank you, Cynthia. I really appreciate the introduction and absolutely love doing these trainings with you. They're so much fun. So like Cynthia said, this one is going to be pretty high level, okay? I want you guys to have a notebook, a digital device or something that you can write on, because this is one that you're going to have to revisit multiple times, especially if you are not familiar with a lot of these terms. That we are going to talk about today. All right. I've got some guides for you that are coming your way. I created 4 of them for you that are going to help you so that you can sit with the content and think it through a little bit more. I also have a glossary for you of terminology that Cynthia is going to do me the favor and drop it into the chat, drop it into our group. That way you guys know exactly what some of these words and abbreviations mean, right? Because even if you are starting your business now and you're kind of in the early stages, you're going to want to be familiar with the financial world. Because at the end of the day, what do we do as business owners? We make money, right? And we need to know how to manage it well so that other people don't take advantage of us. And we can take what we earn and utilize it for exponential growth. All right. So this is not a let me make some money with AI webinar today. Now I'm going to dig into the financial world and what it means to manage your current finances, utilizing several key tools and a framework that I created called cash flow. Okay. Then I'm going to kind of give you like a mini, like step-by-step build out that you can, work on and try, and then provide you with a practical 30-day rollout plan for you to execute this on your own terms. I'm not telling you to go gung-ho, spend all your time on this. I have always preached from the start of doing this series that you need to take it slow. So please take one step at a time. Okay, implement that first, get really great at it, and then move on to the next thing. And then once you have that down pat, Then you move on to the following thing. Okay. You see where I'm going with this? So one step at a time will get you moving in the right direction. The important thing is that you don't stay stagnant or stuck. Okay. You have to take action. All right. So if you hear something that you like, that you want to go back to in your notes, put a little star next to it, put a little asterisk, whatever, arrow, highlight, whatever your deal is. Okay. But pay close attention. Okay. So why do we use AI in finance now? Well, the question is not necessarily why we use it now, but why not? Right?
Why not?
AI is a part of the world. AI is a part of your world. I don't care where you live. You can live under a rock and AI is a part of it. I promise. Okay? It's not optional anymore. It's been baked into finance tools that you already use. So think about this. You guys use spreadsheets like Microsoft, right? Or even Google Docs, like Google Sheets. Okay? Microsoft just introduced the Copilot, the equals Copilot function in Excel. So you can classify, summarize, or structure your data directly in the cells, right? Using plain English prompts without any macros required. Okay, so you don't have to speak Excel speak to be able to use this function. All right, this means you can take tasks and categorize transactions. You can summarize your customer notes, right, in seconds, not hours, right? Google Sheets, again, doing the same thing with Gemini, okay, which helps you generate formulas, analyze trends, and even build charts using your natural language, okay? So you don't have to be an experienced coder. You don't have to know all of the technical jargon to be able to use these tools, but you need to use them, okay? You need to use them. So for like accounting purposes, there are modern platforms that use AI for categorization, receipt matching, anomaly detection, and faster closes, right? The point here is we can't use AI for AI's sake, right? AI needs to be used strategically, especially in finances, so that we have fewer errors because, I mean, not for nothing, we're human, right? We make mistakes. There have been plenty of times where I'm sitting around doing my budget and whatnot, and I'm adding things up, and I'm like, there's no way on God's green earth that this is right. Okay?
Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
No. So,
Can't be.
and like that has happened to me both negatively and positively, right? Like I'm thinking I'm more in the red than I'm not, or
For
like
real.
I'm like not as much in the green that I thought I was. And then I go ahead and I double check it using some systems that I've created. And I'm like, oh my gosh,
Oh
right?
my
Like
gosh. Right.
surprises you so well when those things kind of happen, right? So again, that's like using AI as your partner, okay? To check your errors because yes, we're human. And goodness gracious, when you're running a business, how many numbers do you see every day, every week, every month? A ton of numbers, right? And I don't know about you, but I don't have a degree in accounting. I don't. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I am a mathematician. Okay, I have one of my degrees has an emphasis in mathematics. I love math.
I didn't know that.
Now you know.
Dang. Now I know. No idea. See, I learn something about it all the time, y'all. I swear.
Yeah. There's a lot more under the hood. But so I love numbers. I love to crunch numbers. But again, I'm human, so I make mistakes sometimes, and I have to go back and I gotta check, right? Especially when something heavy is on the line. So think about it like this, right? When you are a business owner and you're looking for monies that you need to invest in the next step to scale your business, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have all of this information in front of you, and you're like this much short from making that next step. Okay. But guess what? You're that much short because you made some errors in calculation. So if you went ahead and utilized some of the AI platforms to cross-check you, okay, and make sure that you have not made certain errors, you could have a real nice surprise at the end of that and go, oh my goodness, I have the money that I need to invest in this next piece so I can jump to the next level, so I can continue to grow exponentially, right? So it's those nice little things, those nice little surprises that come out of nowhere, that happen because we use the systems that work for us, right? Not against us. Okay. Another thing that AI helps us with is like just faster cycles and clearer cash decisions, right? Turnaround time with having to balance your books. I hate balancing my books. I'm just gonna be real.
Talk about it. Talk about it. I can't stand reconciling. I can't stand reconciling.
I don't like it. It's just not the fun part of being an entrepreneur, right? But it's a necessary task. So what do I do?
Necessary evil.
It is. It is. So what do? I use AI to help me. Okay. Now, I don't take it for its word. Understand this. I don't just plug in a bunch of numbers and go, okay, figure it out. Because at the end of the day, who's responsible for that? Me. Right. And I have to reconcile that. And I got to pay, the tax people what I got to pay. Right. I got to pay people who have helped me. I got to pay, vendors, suppliers, all the things. Okay. So I have to make sure that I have the monies right. But if I can run it through AI and go, okay, I've got some margin, I've got some space. And then I look at my own numbers and I go, yep, that lines up. Yep, that lines up. Yep, that lines up. Oh, I love this. I love this. You see? So it's like you have a partner that can double check your work. Okay.
Love it.
In like copywriting, it's like having a proofreader. All right, that can look at your stuff before it goes out to make sure there's no misspells, no weird words, no weird punctuation, that kind of thing. Okay, so we want to use it for our benefit, and we want to partner with it to help us not only check us, but elevate us. Okay, because when we can use AI, then guess what? We get free to ask better questions of our business, like what are our cash levers? Where is spend slipping? Which scenario is most likely to happen if, right? So you start asking these deeper questions that allow you to prepare for possible advances in your industry or regressions, right? Because not for nothing, the market is shifting. I don't know if you guys have felt it, but I felt it. The market is shifting. Buyers are being more conservative with how they're purchasing things now. Right. So it's not like I used to talk to you guys about how it requires like 9 exposures for someone to make the decision to buy. Guys, it takes a lot longer than that now.
Yeah.
Because people are buying on their own timelines and on their own terms, especially when you have a high ticket item. Okay.
Especially.
So you have to be careful with that. You got to be careful with that, right? And you have to plan for that, okay? So I'm going to continue to show you today exactly where AI fits so you get these compounding benefits without ripping out your whole stack. And when I say stack, I mean your tech stack, okay? So whatever technology you are using right now, by the end of this presentation, I'm not asking you to scrap it, okay? What I'm asking you to do is to leverage AI to include it in it, so that it makes your life a whole lot easier. All right. Now, some examples of use of AI in finances. I already talked to you about Microsoft and Google, right? You have things like QuickBooks, Ramp, Brex. They all include AI for categorization, receipt matching, the anomaly detection, and close acceleration. So those types of things, right? Collections, variance analysis, and reconciliation, all a part of the AI-powered mainstream finance tools. So you need to make sure that whatever tools you are using, leverage AI for your benefit, okay? If a tool does not use AI by now, I hate to say it, but it's outdated.
Preach.
Okay? I'm going to say it again. If a tool that you are currently using does not use AI, it's outdated. And you need to think about whether or not you want to continue to use that system or that tool. Okay?
Real.
Just a little forewarning, because I'm telling you right now, everything is shifting. Everybody's using AI. So those that aren't are falling behind. And do you really want to be using a system that is antiquated at this point in the game?
Right.
I know I don't. Right? Okay, so I'm going to introduce you to what I created, which is called the cash flow system.
Nice.
Okay, this is a framework. Screenshot it because it's not in the guides that I created for you. Okay. Please screenshot that. I give you full permission. Go ahead and do it. Take all the notes, screenshot whatever you want. It's okay. All right. But I want you to write down, okay, everything that I am going to be talking about here, because this just gives you like a little overview. I'm going to get into it. All right. So let's start with C, capture and centralize. Okay. This is where you're going to connect your bank, credit feeds, and your accounting tools so data flows daily. Okay. The term ERPs, which is Enterprise Resource Planning. Okay. This is the system that ties your core business operations together. Okay, so you have your finance, your accounting, your inventory, your purchasing, your sales, your CRM, projects, and sometimes even HR. Okay, those all connect so that data lives in one source of truth with shared workflows and reports. Guys, give me one quick second. My son is messaging me and calling me like crazy. So there must be an emergency here. What's going on? My apologies, guys. All right. Go ahead.
You got it, Maribel? I was going to tell them just to make sure they screenshot it while you were getting things together.
Yeah, go ahead. Please do. All right.
And the glossary and the files that Maribel has for y'all today, I'm getting ready to start dropping those in the comments. So make sure you click on the links and download them for yourselves.
Please do. Please do. And if you see something that you don't understand or you need some more support with, just reach out. I'm here for you. Okay. So, hey, what does this mean? Why is this here? You know, why is this important to me? Because a lot of you guys, you know, may be on the early side of your business practices, and you might think that this is kind of high level, too much for you, or like, you know, over your head kind of deal, or you're not there yet. And I'm going to emphasize the word yet, because I fully claim that we are all going to be in this zone, okay, where we're going to be using these things on the daily, okay? But learn it now. Learn it now. Get used to it now. That way, when it comes time, you guys are in it, okay? You guys are in it and you know what you're talking about. All right. The A, automate intake, okay? This is a big one. Set rules for invoices, receipts, and approvals, okay? Get the admin out of your head, okay? You guys have got to get to the point where admin tasks are almost all fully automated. And you do not have to touch a single thing unless you need to approve something. Okay, that's the A part. Okay, S, spot the anomalies. What's an anomaly, Maribel? Well, an anomaly would be like random payouts of like, you know, $10,000 when you've never had to pay somebody that amount of money before, right? Or you have a huge influx of money and you're like, oh my gosh, what is this? Where'd this come from? Right now,
I want that problem. Can I have that problem?
I want that problem too, girl. What? Come on now. But still, like I think about it like this: if I get a huge amount of money that comes into my wallet, or like, you know, my accounting system, I want to know where that came from. I want to know what generated that lead, right? I want to know how that person found me. Okay. I want.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I want to know. Yeah, I want to know all about them. So it's like, it gives me like this this flag of, oh my goodness gracious, this is really cool. Let me duplicate that, or how can I duplicate that, right?
Right.
It's a good anomaly, right? The ones that we don't want to have are the bad ones, where our accounts are getting overdrawn or pulled from and in crazy amounts for whatever reasons, because then you have to worry about getting hacked, you know, the questionability of the possibility of a hack and things like that. So you need to be very careful about those anomalies. Okay, look for those variances. That way you can handle it very, very quickly. Okay, the H is harmonized categories. So we want to simplify your chart of accounts and vendor names, right? You want to have consistent labels because it equals trustworthy reports. When you are consistent across the board, especially if you have to report to a board, you know, then they're used to seeing the way that you're categorizing things. And it makes it easier for your accountant too, to deal with helping you to reconcile all of your issues, right? Don't go labeling things different in every component or every area that you use it, because then it gets really confusing. Like, does this match up with this? Does this mean that? I have no idea, because I didn't keep accurate records. You need to do that. Okay, so harmonize your categories. Okay, F is forecast. This is a nice one too. You want to maintain a 13-week rolling view and test your best, your mid, and your worst scenarios. Why do we do that? Why do we test the best, the mid, and the worst scenarios? Well, the best scenarios, that's kind of self-explanatory, right? Because it's like, oh, this is the best I can do. This is what's going to happen for me. And these are the gains that I'm going to receive, right?
Right.
The mid is like your average, because you want to know, right? You want to know your high months for the best. You want to know what the middle ground is, like what you average, right? Because you want to set some goals for yourself. You want to be able to grow that mid value to something higher, right? And of course, with the best one, you want to be able to exceed that as well. Okay. With the worst scenarios, okay, you need to have some contingency plans put in place. If you don't have some contingencies, and let's say that you have 3 months running where you're in the red, what's going to happen to your overall profit? It's going to tank, right? And then what's in reserves is going to get depleted. And then what? Okay. You're going to have to think about, do I need to get a loan from somebody? Right? Do I have to apply for more grants? Do I need to push out sales so I can start generating some revenue quickly? Right? What other items do I need to put out there so that people can grab my stuff so that I can make some money? Because if not, I can't pay the rent, I can't pay electricity, I can't do this, I can't do that, right? And then, I don't know about you guys, but I have a family. I have 3 children, and I'm a single mom. So I have to worry about, are my kids going to get fed? Right? And are the lights going to stay on? Do they have what they need for school? Okay. Can I get them to their baseball practice or their track practice? Heck, can I get to church?
Legitimate questions. Legitimate questions. Like, don't even play. So serious. It is not a game out here.
No, it's not. It's a scary world, right? But you need to know the best, mid, and worst scenarios for those very reasons, right? We all live off of the money that we make in our business. Okay. You may not be a full-time entrepreneur. You may be a part-timer or whatever the case is, but your ultimate goal is to be a full-time entrepreneur. So you're going to eventually be living solely off of the money that you make in your business. Right. And you need to know how to assess the good months so that you can save for the bad ones. Okay. It's like it's a balance scale. You're going to have great months. You're going to have good months. You're going to have really bad ones. But the great and the good need to offset the bad, right? But the only way you can prepare for that is by forecasting it. So you got to look at your trends. You got to look at your trends, whether it is you are a product-based business or a service-based business. What are your strong months? What are your weak ones? How can you make the weak ones stronger? Okay. And how can you make the strong ones even more? All right. So there's that. The L in cash flow is link your KPIs. If you don't know what a KPI is, I don't know why you're in business.
But real silly, talk.
But seriously.
Real talk. If you don't know what it is, then we need to talk.
Yeah, yes, you do. You need to get on the phone with Cynthia like today.
Yeah. Like, I got you. If you don't know what KPI is, just for real, DM me. What is the KPI?
Yeah.
I got you.
Okay. So your key performance indicators. You need to track. I'm serious. Your accounts receivable days, your accounts payable days, your gross margins, your burn, your runway, right? Tie them to actions. Right? You got to look at your days the sales are outstanding, which is like the average number of days it takes you to collect cash after you make a sale. Because I don't know about you, but I work with the system. I don't get paid immediately when I make a sale.
Right.
It's not instant. It takes a couple days to hit my bank account. Right?
Right.
And when you're trying to build, those couple days can hurt you a little bit. Okay. Then you got to look at DPO.
For those of us who send invoices, for real, it gets real if you send invoices.
That's right. That's right. Then, your days payable outstanding. So what that is like your average number of days you take to pay your suppliers. So especially if you are a product-based business, right? How long does it take for you to pay them? I mean, not for nothing. I used to work for a company that it would take almost a month to pay their suppliers.
Yep.
And if I was that vendor, I would not want to work with that company anymore. It's crazy, right? I don't want to wait a month for my money. No, I don't, right? So there's some formulas that you can kind of look at, to kind of figure those things out. But understand in simplistic form, for days sales outstanding, lower is better. Okay. Which means you're collecting faster, but you need to watch for sudden jumps. Okay. With days payable outstanding, higher is actually better for you as a business owner, right? Within agreed terms. Okay. But that's with agreed terms. That means between you and the vendor, you have to agree upon that. Okay. Which means you're holding cash longer without hurting your vendor relationships. So you want to make sure that it's mutually beneficial for you. Okay. To be able to do that. So some cues for you to look at. Okay. For healthy small business ranges, this is typical, not universal. Okay. For DSOs, 20 to 45 days, DPOs, 25 to 45 days. Okay. If you want to move the needle, you need to shorten your DSO with same day invoicing and auto reminders. And then you need to raise your DPO ethically by negotiating with your vendors to increase the term days by 7 to 15 days. Okay.
Very cool.
Okay. So the O in cash flow is optimize cycles. So you want to nudge accounts receivable earlier and tactically delay accounts payable within terms, right? And tighten your discretionary spending. Okay. That's probably one of the quickest ways to kind of augment your money, is that discretionary spend. You don't have to spend as much as you think. Okay. You really don't have to spend as much as you think. Get systematic about it, especially if you're a solopreneur. You don't need to have every flashy tool in the book. You don't. Nowadays, there are platforms out there, systems out there that are all encompassing that can save you probably $200 a month minimum on your tech stack. Okay. So think about that. Research it. If you have questions, ask me. I have a huge list of things that you can do based on the different systems that are out there. Okay. Because I've tested pretty much all of them. And I can tell you which ones work well and which ones don't. Okay.
I'm just gonna say with discretionary spending, I feel seen. And I'm gonna leave it at that.
I know you, Cynthia, so yeah.
That's what's up. Between me and you. Between me and you.
Girl, it's between us. That's right. That's right. And it's okay. It's okay. But trust me, that discretionary spending is gonna hurt your bottom line.
It'll get you every time.
Sooner or later. So be very careful with that. Okay. The W, which is the last letter in cash flow, is weekly ritual. So come up with something that you can do every single week. 30 minutes, same time each week, right? You're going to review your alerts. You're going to forecast your deltas and one action item. So your deltas are change. Okay. What things you got to change? It's a triangle, right? That's deltas. It's the Greek alphabet, delta. Just means change. Okay. So you want to forecast changes and write down one action item for you. Okay. Follow that every week. Make that a ritual. Okay. And I promise you will grow. You will grow financially if you do that. But it has to become a habit. Okay. And the only way things become habits is if you start them now. If you wait and go, oh yeah, it's on my board. It's on my bulletin board. I put it right there. But you never take action, nothing's ever going to change. Okay. And you're not going to grow. So trust me, that ritual, if you do something like that every week, it creates momentum. And there's something really strong about momentum in business. When you start to see things grow, right? And when you start to see things move in the right direction, you just want to keep on going. And you want to put more into it. right? When you say that things are stuck or stagnant, you kind of want to give up. It's real psychological in nature. So get moving. Like, that's something that I implore you guys to do. Get moving. And once you start, that momentum is just going to snowball. And it's going to keep you guys going and going and going until you are where you want to go. Okay? Where's my thing? All right. Like I told you before, there's always a right tool for the right job. Okay? You don't have to spend a whole heck of a lot of money, right? Testing out tools, doing this, doing that. No, there's a right tool, for the right job. Each and every one of us is different. Okay? We all have different businesses. We all have different business models. Therefore, we require different tech stacks. Okay? I personally do not use QuickBooks because I have a system that has accounting software already included inside of it. So I don't have to pay for QuickBooks. But that's a very popular accounting software, right? It has, Intuit Assist, which suggests categorizations, helps reconcile, drafts invoices, right? It helps you keep clean books. Okay?
It's my favorite.
Listen, for a lot of businesses, I'm not even gonna lie about that. For a lot of businesses, it's super helpful, right? And that way you don't have to manually do all the things that it does for you. Because that sucks.
Period.
Just being honest, right? Just being honest.
Just being honest. Just being real.
Seriously, right? Okay. For your spending and your accounts payable, there's a tool called Ramp. It brings anomaly detection and automated three-way match for invoices. You've got Brex Empower, which streamlines budgets and auto-generates and matches receipts to transactions, which is nice, right? These tools enforce policy while reducing friction, okay? And when I say friction, I just mean like irreconcilable things, okay? So when I have a receipt here and a transaction showing up over here and they don't match, right? That's friction, okay? So these tools will help you with that, okay? They control your purchases and your and pay your bills too, okay?
Love it.
You have, card, real time, invoices, on terms, things like that. With cash forecasting, there's a tool called Float, right? It syncs with QuickBooks again, right? To keep a real time rolling cash view. Lets you build scenarios quickly too, which is really neat. So you can come up with a huge scenario. Like, let's say someone came to you and your company and was like, I want to be your angel investor, but
Nice.
I require a certain percentage of your company.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You need to be able to quickly play that scenario through to determine whether or not that is going to help you long term regarding your goals or not. Okay.
Say that.
So, like with me, myself, and I don't necessarily think that I ever want to be bought out. Right now. I'm telling you this right now. Okay. As of today. Okay. Who's to say that's not going to change in 20, 30 years?
That part.
It might. Right? It might. So, but if you are an established business owner, you've been at it for a hot minute, right? That might be a scenario that you want to play out. Okay. What if you are a product-based business and one of the big chain stores comes to you and says, hey, I want to be the exclusive distributor of your product? What then? How much are you going to charge them for that partnership? Right? How long is that partnership going to last? What are the terms and conditions inside of that partnership? Okay. How much money is that going to put in your pocket?
That part.
Those kinds of things you got to play out. Right? Dream big. Dream big. Like, seriously, have that big audacious goal and like go with it when you think about scenarios in finance. Because goodness gracious, I mean, you never know.
You never know.
You
Never
really
know.
You never know, right? You could get tapped on the shoulder tomorrow and be like, yes. Right? Like, you just don't know. You don't know. Like, I tell people all the time, you are one connection away from a serious breakthrough, right? Or
For
massive
real.
explosion. You're one connection away, you know? Could be luck that you were at some sort of event and you run into this person and they're looking for you, meaning they're looking for your product, your solution, whatever it is, right? And you start talking, you start networking, then you find yourself in rooms that you never thought you would be in before.
Right.
And then you start talking to people that you never thought that you would speak to in person.
Mm.
And then one thing leads to the other. And you're sitting in front of the CEO of a massive company, right, that wants to buy you out or wants to, have you as their sole supplier for something. Who knows? Who knows? Right?
And you know what, Maribel? Like, those type of instances are not rare anymore. Like, these types of things are happening all the time.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's just being around the right people in the right atmospheres. But most of all, taking advice from people like Maribel, who's doing this training now, so that when you are faced with those situations, you'll be ready. Because if you continue to build and do the things that we're telling you to do, like, you're going to be in those rooms.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right. Because remember, again, people who are implementing AI now are ahead of the game. If you're not, you're behind. And no one is going to take you seriously. They're going to ask you, I'm not going to lie, they're going to ask you, what, when they talk about tech stacks and stuff like that, like, what do you have in your business? Like, what do you have working for you right now? The expectation is to have some sort of AI component involved.
Right.
That's the expectation. And if you have no mention of any sort of AI involvement, they're going to be like, yeah, I don't know if I want to work with you. Right? Yep. And you don't want that. You don't want that. Okay. So as I've told you guys in past trainings, if you haven't started, start today. Start with something. Seriously. Start with something. Okay. For your FP&A planning, there's a tool called Pigment. It has agentic AI to analyze data, speed scenario modeling for non-finance stakeholders, because there are people on this call and in the world that have to report to their stakeholders, right? So this turns numbers into plans and decisions. So forward-looking finance plans, forecasts, insights that guide what you're going to do next, okay? Then you have your productivity layer. So Excel's equal Copilot function in Gemini and Sheets accelerates the categorization, summaries, quick views. So again, pick one category. Start there, okay? This is a lot, I'm telling you. So pick one to improve upon first, okay? And that's usually spend control or cash forecasting. Then you expand. So you start with those, get that down, understand that well, and then move forward, okay? You guys sticking with me?
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right. So data hygiene, speed and accuracy. Here we go. So AI, it multiplies whatever foundation you give it. Okay. I've taught you guys again in the past about giving it clean inputs. It needs to know what you want it to do. Okay. So this is a quick little setup that you can do this week. Screenshot. This is not in your guides. Okay. So you want to turn on bank and card feeds, right? And ensure daily sync. Make sure your cell phone is primed to this so that you kind of know what's coming and going, okay? Prune your charts of accounts, merge duplicates, keep names human readable, okay? You don't want something that is techie or jargon filled. You want to be able to hand it off to somebody else, like your accountant, and have them be able to understand it, okay? Standardize your vendor names. So instead of doing Amazon *123, simplify it, just Amazon, okay? Then you want to add some simple rules. So like transactions from X to category Y, memo pattern Z to category Q, things like that. Just small, simple rules that take one column of information and merge it with another, okay? Then require receipts over a threshold. So that's your call. Whatever you need receipts for, that's your call, it's your business. Not for nothing, I keep receipts for everything. Okay, there's no reason not to have a receipt for something, especially in business. Keep receipts for all things, okay? But you're going to want to auto match them, especially when you have to look at, I've got these receipts. Is this what was pulled? Is this what was charged, right? I've got these invoices. Is this what was taken out of my account? You need to be able to reconcile those things, okay? Match them. But again, this will help you auto match that, okay? There are plenty of softwares out there that can scan your receipts in and can match it against what gets pulled out of your bank. So, you know, that's a huge time saver in my book. And then you don't have to worry about carrying all that paper around. Because who likes carrying receipts around? Like, not for nothing, they fade after a little bit of time anyways. So you can't really tell what pulled out. So you need to make sure to
especially a Walmart receipt.
Oh yeah, you're right about that. You're right about that. You're right about that. Another thing you should do is create, you know, one finance input sheet with different columns. So like things like data, not data, date, account, vendor, category, amount, memo, right? And then this becomes your single source for quick analysis in Excel or Sheets, okay? And then you can set some approval thresholds and an audit trail. So even small teams, solopreneurs, need lightweight controls. You got to be able to control these things, okay? If you don't, you need someone who does, okay, that you trust.
Right.
Okay. So yes, a lot of businesses rely on their accountants. They rely heavily on accounting software to be able to do these things. But I like knowing the ins and outs of how my business runs.
Amen.
I like knowing where my money is going. Okay. I don't want to, at the end of the year, at the end of the quarter, because you got to do this quarterly, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to have to sit on my accountant at the end of the quarter and go, okay, where do I stand? I want to know when I go see that person exactly where my money is, how much I have in the bank, how much I'm spending each month, right? What I owe so-and-so, you know, that kind of thing. And then bring that to the accountant for them to tell me, you're right, you're right, you're right, you're right, you're right. I don't listen, when it comes to hard-earned money and things that I've done for my business, I don't trust nobody. I don't. And I hate to say that. I really do, because there are some really good, hardworking people out there. But again, if one person is touching your money, they can make mistakes.
That's the principle of it.
That.
Yeah.
You know?
Seriously.
That. So you want to have that checks and balances. And to have that checks and balances, you need to know where your money's flowing. You just do. Okay? But like I said, if you're asking yourself, what tool do I use first? Where do I start? You know, you could start with something as simple as enforcing your receipts and vendor cleanup, because those two things pay off pretty quickly. Okay?
Right.
As long as you can reconcile your receipts and understand your vendors and how things are coming and going, that's pretty easy going. Okay? So take it one step at a time. All right? You do not have to do it all in one day. It's a lot. I'm not going to lie. It's a lot. Okay? But it's important. It's so important that you understand these things. Okay? So here, you know, we've got a couple of options for a quick mini build. Okay? You can do things like a no-code solution, which most of you are probably going to go, yes, I want that one. Okay? Or you could do the spreadsheet approach, which is the more laborious option. Okay, so I want you to imagine this as your QuickBooks file. All right, we want to connect to something like Float, which is going to sync transactions and balances. Okay, you got to select your main operating accounts, and then, you know, accept their suggestions for recurring inflows and outflows, and then create some sort of scenario. Okay, like your sales, your payables, and then see how the projected balance line shifts. Okay, that gap you're seeing in week 9, like if things start to shift and you see a gap in like payment or income, right? It's a warning sign. Okay, it lets you know that things are going to slow down during this time, and I need to act now to make sure I have money that comes in during that cycle, right? Okay, so you want to think about what happens if my sales decrease by 10%, right? What happens if my payables extend by 7 days? What am I going to do? How am I going to handle it? Okay. Those are those scenarios that we were talking about before, that you really want to start thinking through. Okay. And only you will know your numbers. Okay. Maybe you're someone who can handle a 20% decrease without tripping. I'm not, but if you are, love it for you. So that's on you, but you have to start thinking, what are the metrics that are important to you? What do you need to understand about your business and how it runs and how the money flows so that you can lay your head on your pillow at night and not worry? Okay.
Maribel, I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Would you say taking your bank statements and adding them to a platform like ChatGPT in your profile and giving it a prompt to say, analyze my spending and my income and give me a summary of what you find? Do you think that that would be something helpful to give them like a starting point to understand what's actually happening with the money? Or do you think that that's kind of risky? What do you think about something like that?
Okay, so what I would do is I wouldn't even call it a bank statement. I would not pull the actual bank statement and drop it as GPT. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What I would do is I would export that into an Excel sheet or a Google sheet and just label it, it's for me, it would just be a cost analysis, right?
Right.
So then I would tell it, look at the data. I wouldn't specify that this is my banking data. So be careful with your words here, okay? I would just say, look at this data, and I want you to analyze my spending trends. I want you to analyze, highest points of income, and things that you're looking for within your finances. Then it'll spit out its analysis. So that's okay. So the thing here is just remove some of the personal data out of it. Okay. Like I said, stick it in a spreadsheet, an Excel, a Google sheet, whatever, so that it's just like standardized and it's not coming directly from your bank. Because you can upload a PDF into GPT and ask it to analyze it, and it will. But that also means that it also has your bank information now.
Right.
And that's scary, which is the reason why I tell you to put it into a Google Sheet or an Excel before you go ahead and ask it to analyze things. Okay. And you can ask it to categorize stuff too, like in terms of the line item names, right? So you can ask it to look up your gas expenditure. You can ask it to do like your grocery expenditure, or like how many times you go to Walmart and what you spend there. Now, granted, who goes to Walmart and just buys one type of thing? We don't, just being real, right? So that's when you have to get into the nitty gritty and be very careful about what's a business expense versus a personal expense, right? And
maybe the guys do. Maybe the guys go to Walmart and grab one thing. My husband's good for that. Like I can never do that.
Me neither, girl.
No.
Me neither. But there have been times though too that I forget to pull from my bank, my business account, and I just put it all in my personal.
Yes,
and then I have to remember to reconcile. To fix that. But that's not helpful when it comes down to trying to put it into GPT and ask it to analyze things, right? Because you don't have separate line items for your business versus your personal. So, and that's a whole nother conversation. Keeping your business and personal finances separate, y'all get on it.
That's a different training, but y'all gonna get it. Y'all gonna get it. Different training, but y'all getting that one too.
There might be a part 2 to this, just letting y'all know.
We need a sequel.
Okay. I'm saying, right? So, the other option is, again, to use a spreadsheet. That's when you have to manually do all the things, and that's just a pain in the butt. So that's just me being real. Don't do it. Okay. Then after you got all this stuff done, though, like, seriously, like, start asking yourself some heavy questions, right? What changed cash most in our scenario? What changed it? What allowed me to increase in cash flow in these scenarios, right? Was it collections? Was it payment timing? Was it discretionary spending? And pick one of those things and test it out. You're going to have to test. You're going to have to be a scientist when it comes to your money. Okay, you are. And you're the only one that can decide how risky you're going to be versus how conservative you're going to be.
Period.
Okay, with testing where your money goes. Okay, you're going to have to trust a little bit. And then there might be seasons where you're going to have to like take it back a bit. But again, that is you, and you get to decide what those seasons are, how much you're willing to give, how much you're willing to not. Okay. But if you don't move at all, you're not going to grow. You're not going to grow. Right. And at the end of the day, we all want growth. We want growth. We don't want to stay stuck. Okay. We don't want to stay stuck. Okay. So this one's a hard one, but it's necessary. It's necessary. All right. So decisions that move the needle. There are some heavy decisions you can make that can move you forward in your business. Okay. AI gives you visibility. Decisions move your cash. Without decisions, you go nowhere, right? And you're going to have to make it. You're going to have to decide, okay, am I going to pull the trigger or am I not? All right. Again, fully up to you. Okay. So let's talk accounts receivable. Invoice same day for faster payments. That's just be a good steward of your time and get it done.
Yeah.
Just get it done. Okay. Get it done. I'm guilty. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm guilty of delaying even a couple of days to send out an invoice. Simply because I get deep into whatever I'm working on, and then you know, time runs out and I have to sleep at some point.
At some point.
You know. But if you invoice the same day, guess what? You get your stuff back. But now you got to be slick with it, because what I do is I set up automatic recurring invoices. And I don't have to worry about it at all. It just goes out. Okay.
The best feeling ever.
It's so nice.
It's so nice.
Just wake up in the morning and go, oh, my invoice was paid. Okay. Thank you.
I was gonna say wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy, but I think that's bad PR for us, so I'm not gonna say that.
Girl, not at this point. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Oh,
so for those invoices that you don't have recurring, right? Like, I have been very blessed to work with recurring clients. So I use that system. I auto invoice them. And I don't have to touch my invoices for them because it just goes out every month, right? But for those that are like one-offs, you want to implement automated payment reminders. So not just for your client that needs to pay you, but for yourself.
Right.
Because sometimes you just need to be reminded, hey, send out this invoice. And life sometimes. Okay. Like, things get in the way, you know, like your child needs to get picked up from school or something in the middle of the day because they're sick and they're throwing up all over the place. You know, car breaks down in the middle of nowhere. What you going to do? Oh, can't do anything there because I don't have my laptop with me, so I can't send this out. Right. So stuff happens. We all get that. Okay. But you need to set up these reminders for yourself so that you can jump back into it as soon as possible. That's all that is. Okay? And then something else you can do for your clients as well. And this is a nice little move, especially for your new clients. They're going to want to come back to you every single time. Offer small early payment discounts.
It's a winner.
Listen. If I have people that tell me, listen, you pay early, I'll give you $20 off, bet.
Here, send me the link.
Right? Give it to me right now, please. Thank you very much. Okay. So those little things, they pay off. And I'm telling you, when it comes down to the client experience, this goes back to another training I gave you guys a long time ago. But when it comes to the client experience, it's those little things that really make the difference. Okay. So you want to look for those kinds of instances that you can implement easily, so that you can build that client relationship and you can retain them down the road. Okay. So when it comes to accounts payable, you want to negotiate extended payment terms, because you want to be able to hold on to your money for as long as possible. All right. You don't want to have to pay them like instantly. And I know this sounds weird because you want to get paid quickly, but you want to hold on to your money as long as possible, right? When it comes to vendors, okay, vendors and things that you buy, especially if you're a product-based business, I'm going to tell you right now, those people are multi-bajillionaires. They could wait. That's me being real. They could wait. Okay. They're not like us, who we are small business owners. And, you know, we rely on this to help us live. Okay. They're big companies. Vendors mostly are, right? They're big companies. So they can hold. Okay. And they have enough collateral and things like that to be able to deal with that. They have systems set up so that they can deal with a delayed payment. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But again, do that ethically. Don't just you get the bill in the mail, you get the invoice in the mail, and you just kind of push it off to the side and forget about it. Don't do
Mm-mm.
that. Don't do that. Don't be that
Yeah.
person.
Especially
Right?
if you're trying to do something like build business credit, because
Oh,
you know that's going to be reported. So you can't just push those invoices to the side and forget about them. That's
that's
not what she's
right.
saying, guys. But
Yeah.
she's saying delay. And delay is a huge thing because what you're looking at is increasing your opportunity for positive cash flow. So then when you go to try to borrow money and all of these kinds of things, lenders study your cash flow practices
Yep.
more so than they do your credit history when you're a business. So
Yes.
make sure that you have that money in your account. Like she's saying, as long as you can hold it, you hold it. It helps your margin so much.
It really does, especially if they're pulling, like when you're applying for loans and things like that. You want to be able to have as much in your account as possible to show them that.
Right.
So, and I mean, this is just an easy way to do it. Right? When you don't have to pay out quickly, you can hold on to it. And you can kind of time also, when you're applying for the loans and when you have to show those things to them based on this as well. So that kind of helps. Okay. You might also want to think about establishing batch payment schedules.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So again, that depends on your trends. So think about it like this. Let's say at the start of the month, you have a huge influx of money, meaning most of your clients come in at the start of the month, right? But you have a dip towards like the third week of the month. Do you want all of your bills and things to be due at that point? No. You want them to be due more towards the start of the month when you have a heavy influx of money.
Right.
Okay. So that's what we mean by batch payment. You want to be able to pay things in batches. Okay. Then implement card-based spending controls. So know your limits.
Mm-hmm.
Don't spend your money on everything, right? Everything that shines or glitters is not gold.
Mm-mm.
Don't do all that. Don't waste your money on the next best thing or the next shiny object. Please don't. Okay, have some control. Self-control is really important in business. You need to know where to put your money and when to hold on to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
When to spend it and when not to. Okay. The next thing is your spend management. You want to be able to set dynamic department budgets. Now, this is true with larger businesses, but also think about yourself as a small business owner. You basically have one department. Okay. In your department, you have separate areas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'll take myself for example, right? I have the cost of working from home, right? My operations. Let's talk operations. So I have operational costs. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have things like your tech stack cost. Okay. Then I have things like marketing costs. I have things like sales costs. So you may not have physical departments, but you have different areas in your business that incur costs. And you have to think about it like that and set budgets for each of those areas so that you
Right.
don't go past what you're earning. Okay. Then you want to configure in your software somewhere, whatever software you use, you need to set it up so it detects anomalies early and alerts you. So when there's something strange that happens in your books, you should get a red flag right away. Okay.
Right.
You should not be looking at your books 3 months down the road and go, oh my gosh, what happened back in
What was
January?
that? Right.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't want that, right? No surprises. We don't want surprises here. We want to be able to know exactly what is happening when, okay, so that we can fix and adjust quickly.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then consolidate your vendors for better terms. Okay. Let's say that you early on in business, right? You had this vendor that provided product 1 for you. This vendor provided product 2 for you. This one over here provided product 3 for you. But down the road, you figure out that vendor number 1 can provide all 3.
Yes.
What do you do? What do? You consolidate, right?
Yep.
But then you talk to that vendor and go, hey, so I heard that you also provide this and this, and I need that. What kind of deal can you give me?
Right.
Because I'm bringing more business to you. So instead of paying 3 different vendors 3 different prices, you now have negotiated that down to paying one vendor a smaller price that all 3 of them cost combined. Make sense? Okay. So think
like
about
a business
that.
owner.
Yeah, you have to. You have to think like a businesswoman, and you have to shop like one too. So like when you're searching for vendors, look for people like that. You want to look
Right.
for people who have a lot of inventory, a lot of product, a lot of things that you could possibly even expand to. So even if you don't offer that particular product right now, think about the future forecast for yourself and go, oh, you know what? Down the road, I could do that. I could do that. Oh, I can even do that. So you start thinking ahead of the game, right? And you already have yourself in place with that one vendor, and you've established a strong relationship with them. So then when you start grabbing more things from them, that's when you start bringing it to the table and going, you know what? I'm buying a lot of product from you. I think we should talk about, this rate. Can we negotiate something?
Mm-hmm.
I'm ordering from you, I don't know, 5 times a month now because I need all the stuff.
Right.
Help me out. And you know what? To keep your business, they will.
They sure will.
They will.
They will.
Definitely will. They definitely will. Okay. The last thing here is strategic planning. So again, you're going to want to run scenario stress tests. Okay. You can use something like Pigment. It's an AI model. But you need to know what your stress points are in your business. Okay. You got to run those ahead of time and plan for it. Okay. Have contingency plans, please. Okay. You want to translate those insights into weekly actions because you don't want to do all this at once. But you also want to know, all right, well, this week I got to work on this part. Next week I'm going to work on this piece, the following week this piece, and then, whatever the case is, so that you are spreading out what you need to do in order to protect your business long term. Okay. Because things change so rapidly. You guys know that, right? Market trends flip from one day to the next. 1 month you're used to people buying out a certain product. The next month it's sitting on your shelves for time on end,
Right.
So you got to be able to know, right, what that is and why. Look at your data. Please look at your data.
Please.
Okay? Please. Exactly. Please look at your data.
You can't make educated decisions without it.
You really can't. You really can't. Right? And you can't hide from it either.
Oh, say that. Stop running from it.
You can't. It's there. It's right in front of your face. You can't run from your stuff. Face it. Work on it. Right? Be diligent with it. Okay. And then adjust the forecast based on leading indicators. So, as you see things shift in your market, you adjust the forecasting model that you're working on. Okay. So that it can predict the next thing. Okay. So that it can grow with you and change with you, evolve with you. These are things that you're not going to learn in an instant. Okay. It's going to take you time. But I can promise you it is well worth the investment of your time to learn these things.
Practice.
Because, and I am claiming this for all of you, one day you will all be humongous business owners.
Say that.
Okay. That have a fleet of employees, that have numerous vendors that they have to deal with, right? That have huge amounts of money that are flowing in and out of their company. And you still got to know how all this works. Because you have to know if someone's trying to take advantage of you. You got to know.
You got to know. You got to know.
So, all right. So governance, risk, and accuracy. So AI is super powerful, right? But guardrails matter. You have to have them. Okay. I tell you all the time, you can't just rely on AI for everything. You can't. Okay. You just can't, right? The human component is so necessary. So there's an accuracy loop that you can use that's going to help you, okay? You have an AI suggestion that's given to you, okay? You have a human review, so you review that AI suggestion, okay? You reconcile that suggestion, all right? And provide feedback and update the rule, okay? So if you're looking at this suggestion that AI has given you, and you're going, I like it. Looks good. Let me give it a shot. You give it a shot or reconcile it. And then you provide feedback, right? You let it know, hey, this worked great. Let's continue with this model. Here's the next set of data, right? Or I didn't like the output of this. Can we change X, Y, Z to make it better, right? And then it'll do it, okay? So that's something you want to consider. That's the accuracy loop. Just make sure that you use it with all of your AI stuff. I mean, and I'm not even talking about just finances. You can use that accuracy loop with everything.
Everything.
Okay? Everything, whether it's your marketing, your branding, whether it's, website building, your copy, whatever. Literally, you can use it with anything. AI suggests something, you review it, you reconcile it, you provide feedback. Because I'll tell you what, your AI model, no matter what it is, whether it's ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Grok, Manus, any of those, right? It only gets better as you feed it.
Oh, feed the beast.
You need to, right? You need to. You got to train it. You got to train it, right? And you got to feed it data. You got to train it. And you got to tell it, hey, that was cool. That was not, right? That was horrible. This was amazing. I tell them that all the time. As I'm working on it, because it calls me jefa. Now, in Spanish, that means boss. So it's Jefa, by the way. That's how you spell it. It means boss in Spanish. So it'll greet me and go, like, how are you doing today, jefa? Or what can we work on today, jefa?
That's crazy. My GPT went from calling me Coach C to just C. So now as like I call it, it's BBC. It's I named mine BBC, like something for a business coach or something, and it just calls me C now, and I never told it to do that. Hey. And I was like, what in the world? Like, I guess it reads my personality.
It does.
Yeah, it reads into it. It's funny though. It's funny.
It is funny. It is funny. So, but yeah. So like me and GPT, like we tight.
Like that.
So we work real well together, but I let it know straight up, like that was garbage.
Straight garbage.
Was trash. I let it know, and you know what? It's so funny because it gets real apologetic with it.
Oh.
It does. It gets super apologetic, and then it'll go, "Okay, let me try that again."
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Right.
Let me try it again.
That's part of that loop. So I keep that loop going.
For real.
And it works for me. It works real well for me. Real well for me. All right. The next thing you want to do, keep a lightweight policy pack. Okay. Those are receipt rules and thresholds, right? Approval matrix by amount, data access tiers, basically who can see what. Okay. And the exceptions log that you review monthly. Okay. That's your policy pack. Make sure that you look over this all the time. Okay, but don't keep it so heavy and bulky that you're like drowning in it. You know what I mean? That's what I say. Like a lightweight policy pack is all you need, really. Okay, and it's a good place to start. Okay, then you have compliance posture. Okay, document all automations and maintain an exceptions log. So anything that you automate, this is super important. Okay, because at the end of the day, who's responsible for those? You are. Okay. Right. I don't care what AI you use to implement anything. At the end of the day, the onus is on you. Okay. So you need to be able to stand behind the decision that was made. You need to be able to stand behind the automation that was created, right? And be able to go, yep, I executed that. Okay. That was the result. All right. I'll deal with the consequences.
Right.
Okay. But when you document the automations and maintain that exceptions log, it helps you to see some things. Okay. It helps you to understand, oh, okay, this is where this went wrong. Right. Or, oh, okay, this is where it went right. All right. Or maybe this is where I got to tweak some things. Okay. Do not be of the mindset that you can just set something and forget it. Especially when it comes to AI.
Yep.
You can't. I'll tell you something. I'll tell you right now why. Okay. Most of these models that we use, I don't care if it's ChatGPT, like I said, Perplexity, Claude, Manus, Grok, all of them, Gemini, all of them, they all go down at some point or another.
At some point.
Okay. You don't own the servers that they are on. Meaning your data that is inside of those platforms
Yep.
really ain't yours.
It belongs to someone else.
Yep.
If you really think about it.
Yep. Yep.
If you really think about it.
So, best practices. Let's talk about that real quick with this, because this is something that you guys have to do. Okay. It's something that I do very consistently. Okay. When I'm working on something inside of ChatGPT or whatever other platform that I'm using at the time, I don't just leave it in ChatGPT. Okay. I copy and paste it and I put it in a Google Doc, which goes into my folder in my account, my private stuff. Okay. So I take it out of AI and I have it. Whether that's a process that I've been working on, a new automation that I've worked on and build out for a software piece that I'm building, anything like that, anything of substance that I know that I'm going to have to go back to and refer back to, I copy and paste that sucker and I put it in my own files.
Love it.
Because, again, that information is not yours. Okay. Those systems go down all the time.
All the time. All the time.
And if you are not aware of that, there have been plenty of times where ChatGPT has deleted chat threads completely, like gone. Has deleted custom GPTs that were built out, gone.
Wow.
Right? And if you don't have a backup for that, then what you're going to do? Right? Right? So that's just the best practice. When you guys are working in GPT and you're working on something substantial, I don't mean a silly question like, what kind of recipes can I make tonight with this, this, and that? No, I don't mean that. Right? I mean something substantial within your business. Please copy and paste that into a document outside of ChatGPT or whatever other AI system you're using. That way it's yours. And you can take that information with you no matter what. Okay? That's just helpful that way, because I hate to see people lose all their data, all their hard work. I mean, Cynthia, poor Cynthia, she lost her LinkedIn profile.
Oh, look, I'm still mad about it. I'm still mad about it. Like, I've been on LinkedIn for years.
Right.
Like, what is y'all's problem?
Right. But let me ask you this question, girl. Okay. Do you have an accurate record of your entire profile?
The answer is no.
See?
The answer is no. And it's so sad because, yeah, and then that profile was linked to my business page. Exactly. You know, all of these contacts, all of these connections that it took me years to gain. Like, I feel like I got to enter like this literal battle with this huge platform to get my own profile back. It's crazy. But it proves her point is this stuff, it also happens all the time.
All the time. And it's not ours. That's the thing. You know, like I go back to trainings that I've done before with you guys. Anything on social media, those are not our platforms.
Right.
We don't own them. Okay. So when I talk to you guys about building your email list, that's the reason. When I talk to you guys about protecting the information that you're putting out there on ChatGPT and all the other platforms, that's the reason. You don't own that stuff. So you need to have accurate records of who those people are. Right? So that number one, like in Cynthia's case, now she's going to have to rebuild her list. Right? And the only way you do that is if you know who you have to connect with again.
That's it.
You know? It's hard. It's hard up in these streets. But these little practices that you put together, they are so helpful, you know, when it comes down to just securing you, right? As a business owner. Because you need to be able to do that. Okay. And last but not least, just some common pitfalls here, right? Be careful of messy categories, duplicate vendors, those set and forget rules, right? That drift. Add yourself a 15-minute rules and risk audit to your month-end close. Okay. The goal isn't perfection. It's consistency and control. So remember this, AI works best as an assistant to human judgment, not a replacement. So you need to regularly review to ensure accuracy and compliance. Okay. And with that, let's end with this last slide, which is the 30-day rollout plan. All right. I'm going to go quick with this because I'm almost at time here, guys. But I know we started a little late because we had some tech difficulties here. So week 1, your foundation. Okay. You want to connect all your feeds, clean your categories, standardize your vendors, and enable AI suggestions. Week 2, build your 13-week forecast. using Float or spreadsheet. Turn on those anomaly alerts, please. Week 3, implement one AR lever, meaning accounts receivable lever, and one accounts payable lever, right? Track those DSOs and DPOs weekly. Make sure you're getting your money's worth, okay? Then week 4, add 2 scenarios and publish a 1-page scorecard to your team. Your team could be you and your accountability buddy. Your team could be you and your accountant. It doesn't matter. Just have that so that you know what you're doing and you know what's coming and going, okay? I got the resources for you for all of this. So if you look over here, the resources package, you have these 4 things coming to you. If Cynthia hasn't put them in the chat already, it's cool beans. You can put them in the group. Doesn't matter. Okay. But you'll have an implementation checklist. You'll have an AI prompt library that deals specifically with finances. You'll have that scorecard template that'll help you track your things over time. And then you're going to have this tool integration guide. Okay, so those 4 things are going to really help you fully understand the different components of financial management within a business. There's a whole lot more to this. I could get deeper into this, and I may even decide that next month I'll do a part 2 and push that training further forward. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to talk to Cynthia about it, but this is a great place to start. So I hope you guys have gotten some value from this today, and I have thoroughly enjoyed being here with you. If you have any questions, you know how to reach me. You know how to reach Cynthia. Feel free to drop them in the group that we have, and I will see you guys online and on screen next month.
Thank you so much, Maribel, for being such a rock star and a powerhouse. And for today's 10th training in the AI series, the resources that she has for you have actually been dropped in the comments here already. They are also posted in the Six Secrets group. So there's links to every single one of them. Make sure you go there and grab them. Stay tuned for the next training, and we will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye now.